What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. I'm here to talk to you guys today about a Pacific WWE pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble. If you guys don't know, Royal Rumble is approaching about 5 weeks away, if I'm not mistaken. So today it's gonna be more of a rant and how I feel about the Rumble. Uh, but before I get into this video, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, comment, all that good stuff because we're trying to hit 430 by the end of this year. But the ultimate goal in 2023 is to hit that 10K milestone. So if you guys are new, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please help me out. We're trying to continue to grow on YouTube. So, but make sure you guys do that. Make sure you guys do that because the more you guys subscribe, the more it helps with the algorithm and helps me bring more content for you guys. Bring more content for you guys because I want to bring way more content in 2023 and stuff like that. So, yeah. But further ado, we're going to get into it with the video talking about the Rumble, my rant, and all that stuff. So, if you look at the past winners, we've had past winners. 2018, we had Asuka win the Rumble. 2019, we had Becky. 2020, we had Charlotte. 2021, we had Bianca. And this year, we had Ronda Rousey as the Royal Rumble winners, or our past Royal Rumble winners in that particular order. I will say this about the Rumble, and if I'm going to be positive about this probably going to be one of the one thing I would say positive about the Rumble. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year because it kind of sets the tone of what we can expect for WrestleMania. And I love, them finally giving the women more spotlight and stuff like that, so we can get more, opportunities for the women who work so hard to get better week after week. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. The Royal Rumble has not, I don't know, exceeded my expectations or, met my expectations. And here's why. The Royal Rumble, here's the concept of the Rumble is pretty much is if you guys, for those who are watching this and don't really know too much about the Rumble is pretty much a battle royal where 30 women every 90 seconds a woman enters the ring, and you have from entrant 1 to 30. Whoever is the last standing will have an opportunity to challenge either for the Raw, SmackDown, or NXT Women's Championship at WrestleMania. And I'm gonna be honest, the whole concept, in my opinion, comment down below if you guys feel the same way about how I feel about the Rumble. The Rumble should be used to get someone over. It should be used to help a wrestler who's never reached the top of the mountain get over. It should be used to elevate the women that have not really gotten opportunities to shine and show what they can do. It should be about building new stars. In my opinion, I feel like they failed to capitalize on that. I know we've seen Bianca and Asuka, but in my opinion, I feel like they were already established at that point. I feel like what they've been doing is giving the wins, in my opinion, to people who've already been established, people who've already, won the championship. I mean, yes, sometimes their reign has not been the best, but if you put the reign aside, they did reach the top of the mountain by winning the title. When you have women on that roster who have not gotten a sniff of, that type of gold, it says something, and I feel like the Rumble should be used to help, women. I'm gonna name a few like Dana Brooke or Shotzi, just to name a few. It should be used to help women like that who've not gotten to that, who've not reached the glass ceiling, or broke through the glass ceiling, break through the glass ceiling, to help elevate them, to get them to the next level and stuff like that. And I feel like the WB has not really capitalized on that ever. And I feel like with the Royal Rumble coming up, what I think they should do is, add a little unpredictability. Like, have somebody that we wouldn't expect to win the match. Not saying somebody like, like a returning legend or like a returning superstar who's already won. Because I've seen some people made cases for I almost said Ronda Rousey, but she was not a good pick either. Like Charlotte or Becky. I love both of them, but I don't think they need to win the Rumble. It's not. It should not happen. Hopefully, it does not happen. Rhea Ripley, I know somebody else that people want. I love Rhea Ripley, especially with the work she's doing. Me personally, I think she should, be in the men's rumble. Just because the way they've been kind of booking her in her match that she had with Kira Tozawa, I wouldn't be surprised if she was part of the men's rumble or even part of both rumbles, but came up short and the women's and pulled like a Nia Jax. She was in the women's rumble, didn't win, and then entered the men's rumble by attacking somebody. So maybe they can do that for Rhea Ripley. But you have my thing is it should help people from the lower card or the mid card. People like I said, I'm gonna use an example. People are gonna get upset. I know people talk trash, talk down on her for the longest, but at the end of the day, you have to understand it's not always the wrestler's fault. It's always gonna be up to the booking and how the people backstage and the higher ups treat her. And I would say Dana Brooke would be a, a, a good example for somebody who I think could benefit by being elevated to win the Rumble. I know a lot of people would probably say, "What? Why? There's no case for her to win." I read an article probably about 2 3 days ago, and they were talking about she's pretty much someone that fits the description of underappreciated and overlooked, and she works hard to get everything that she's had in the WWE. She's worked hard to get to where she is. She's coming up on 10 years since she signed with WWE in 2013, and then in 2014 it'll make 10 years since she had her first wrestling match under the WWE umbrella. So just imagine how great of a moment it would be if you elevated her, to come out at a number one or number two, show her strength and her determination to, you know, pull out all the stops and beat the odds and win the Rumble. That's creating a new start for someone who hasn't really reached that mountain, the top of the mountain in the women's division, who's been there. And I would love for them to finally pull the trigger on something like that. Do something people would it would be a shock to a lot of people. And I agree because people would not expect Dana Brooke to even win the Rumble, let alone last a great amount of time in the Rumble itself. So if they were to accomplish that to get her to be in the conversation like they do the other women. If you guys don't remember, she was in NXT, with the Four Horsewomen. People will look back on that and they will look at the Four Horsemen like, oh, they played a huge part in the women's division. But it shouldn't be always the top stars getting the opportunity. It should be about all the women involved. It's like I would say this is what differentiates, or at least in my opinion, makes Raw and SmackDown different. The way they treat the SmackDown Women's Division when it comes to getting number one contenders, they are doing gauntlet matches. They're putting your top stars in there, but you're also putting some of the lower card stars who aren't going to get as much TV time as the top stars. That's helping to an extent. Raw, they don't do any of that. You're pretty much if you see a gauntlet match or any type of match for the number one contenders or like a fatal four way, it's always gonna be these women: Asuka, Alexa, Bailey, Rhea, and then you have Bailey. I mean not Bailey, but Becky, and then that's pretty much it. Everybody else is not gonna get any opportunities. People like who are all on the Raw roster: Tamina, Dana, and that's it. I think those are the only people I can remember on that roster right now. And then on SmackDown, you have you know, Liv, Raquel, you have Shayna, you have Zaya, you had Natalia until she got injured, and then you have Emma over there. You have Scarlett. She's probably gonna be having a stint with the women's division. So you have different things, and you also have the returning Tony Storm. Sorry, I forgot, but you're doing something different. They're kind of, in my opinion, it might be a hot take, but I feel like they're kind of treating the SmackDown Women's Division better than they are on Raw because they're letting the lower card stars be involved in championship matches or at least contention for championships Raw is just the top stars. That's it. That's my problem right there. You're not really investing time in your women's wrestlers if you're just using the same women over and over. And if you do use like the lower card stars, they're just being fed to like the bigger stars. You're not giving them any stories. You're not giving them. How is somebody like a regular fan is supposed to get invested in a superstar if they're continually being put on main event week after week? Nobody's going to get invested to anybody if they're constantly being on main event week after week. Nobody. Nobody really watches main event. Nobody watches live events because it's a live event. Nobody's going to watch it. The only time you can really see what these women can do if they're on pay-per-views or on Raw or SmackDown or even NXT. If they're not on there, how are we supposed to get invested? How are we supposed to take a character or wrestler serious if they're not given time to show what they can do? This is why a lot of people get mad at me when I say, "Oh, I think Dana Brooke should be this." People have been talking down on her for years. You have to understand, it's really not her fault. It's the booking. In my opinion, she's brought to the main roster too early. If they put a little bit more time in her, when she was in NXT, she was a dominant force. She was literally undefeated. She headlined a pay per view with Asuka. When was the last time you could say Dana Brooke headlined a pay per view? I'll wait. Exactly. Never. She hasn't really gotten there. But because of the booking, if they actually give her time to actually develop a character, and if they don't have anything for her, put her in NXT. Put her in NXT. Let her do how Mandy Rose did. When she was pretty much lost in the shuffle a lot. When she went to NXT, she rejuvenated her career. She reestablished herself. She became NXT Women's Champion for over 400 days. Dana Brooke is set for the same fate. Put her back down to NXT. Let her become the heel that she can be. She can play both roles. She was a good heel, but she's also a underdog babyface that I believe the fans can get behind if given a chance. Think about it. Let her. If she was a heel, I would love to see her face Bianca. We haven't even got that match yet. I think it would be a fresh matchup. A matchup. I said matchup, but matchup. If she went after Ronda Rousey, it would be a huge underdog story because she somebody that hasn't been taken serious going up against one of the hugest threats that the women division has right now in Ronda Rousey because of her background. Those are two storylines that you can do, and if you have her win the Rumble, or at least have her, or if you don't have her win the Rumble, I mean that's fine. But if you're letting her have a decent amount, get her some shocking eliminations, people will get behind that. If you have her face people are not who are out of her league, like if you have her face some of the bigger stars like Rhea Ripley or Bailey or Charlotte Flair, if you're letting her face women like that, people can get behind that because they're saying, "Oh, this is the same woman that was 24/7 champion, but now she's rejuvenated herself by beating some of their top stars." If they do decide to have Money in the Bank come back as a on WrestleMania or even Money in the Bank, Steve being a pay per view, she should be somebody that people can get behind to win that, and it could be a huge moment for her, capping off this 10-year journey that she's had, and then building up the cash in. I would love to see them revisit, the Charlotte thing because if you guys don't remember when she came to the main roster, she was pretty much, the protege for Charlotte Flair. And I feel like once they broke off, I was all for it because this could have been a match that they could have had at WrestleMania. This could have been a match coming out of WrestleMania, or like in the summer, the teacher versus teacher versus student Dana Brooke, teacher Charlotte, and then you have Dana Brooke probably trying to prove herself to Charlotte. Like, I mean, I know you're one of the most decorated women, but I'm not here to be just your lackey all the time. I'm here to prove myself. I'm here to make a legacy for myself. But we can't sit here and just deny that. I get a lot of people would throw dirt on her any chance they get, and sometimes it's frustrating. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but we can't just sit here and say it's all her fault that she's in the state that she's in right now. It's the booking. If they give her like a character that we can get behind, book her correctly, and give her a storyline or like something that she could sink her teeth into. That's all you have to do. That's all WWE has to do. I'm not saying you gotta go and destroy the entire roster. No, but the three things that the WWE needs to do with the women's, that just not even just Dana Brooke, but their lower card in general. Give them a story that they can sink their teeth into. Stop the lazy booking and actually give these women time, whether if it's in promos or matches. If you're putting someone up against a Charlotte and you're just burying it and feeding them over and over, nobody's going to take time out of their schedule to sit up and care about these women at all. If it's the same women over and over, nobody cares. If it's lazy booking, nobody cares. And at some point, this is going to have to change. This is going to have to stop. I didn't like when Vince was doing it, but now Triple H is going to have to sit back and think. What I know, he's still, he's still trying to get a feel of everything. But in 2023, he's gonna have to change a lot. He's definitely gonna have to look at his roster at the women. Start using the women that aren't getting pushed. Stop using the same women that will that you go back to the well to every time. Look at the lineage of the Royal Rumble for the men. Yes, we've had um some predictable winners, but yet there were times where it was unpredictable. We had shocking winners. We've had shocking winners, and I think we that the W is not capitalizing on that with the women. Everybody that's won the Royal Rumble for the women, in my opinion, have all been predictable. None of them have been unpredictable. None of them were a shock. None where I look back on it's like, oh, that was a shock that they pulled the trigger on something that nobody would have done. No, all of them were predictable. Anybody, you could be a new to the wrestling, but if you look for like a week or a month at best, you can instantly pick and say who's gonna win that Rumble. 2018, everybody knew it. Asuka was winning. 2019, Becky, everybody knew it was winning. 2020, Charlotte won. 2021, Bianca won. 2022, Ronda won. All predictable. Nothing was a surprise to me. And I think with 2023 coming up and the Rumble coming up within about 5 weeks, this is the chance to finally do something shocking. Give a woman that hasn't reached the peak yet an opportunity to show what they can do in that Rumble. Let them win the Rumble. Build them up from Rumble to Mania and beyond that. That's all you have to do. All you need to do but think about it. You're achieving so many things at the same time, but WWE, you have to understand, you have to realize that. And I hope the people that watch this video agree with me as well. You do this. You're achieving this. These are the four things you are going to achieve if you give somebody from the lower card the Rumble win. If you let them come out at number one, that's definitely going to be helpful because if they last a long time, they can look back and say, oh, they've lasted a long time that Rumble. Give them some shocking eliminations against some of the bigger stars. That's going to help as well. Because with that, you're not only, building up a new star, but you're, getting the audience engaged as well to actually care about, the wrestler. If they haven't really had a character, give them a character that the fans can get behind, and that the wrestler itself can sink their teeth into. Two, let them win. Let them win. If they're giving good showing, just go on and pull the trigger with it. See where it goes. You can't say you if you can't say sit up here and say, oh, we tried if you never gave them a chance. I'm just being honest. If you're not giving somebody a chance, you can't sit back and say it's their fault because you never gave them a time to develop anything or give them enough time to help get the roster engaged or even the W universe engaged. That's my thing. But yeah, this is the end of this video. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the post notification bell so every time I post a new video. We're on the road to 430 subscribers. We're trying to get to that milestone by the end of this year. I know we can do it. Tell all your friends to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to that 10K milestone by the end of 2023. I know you guys can do it. We're one of the best families on YouTube. We're growing. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to get better. Huge videos coming in 2023. A huge new um, little thing set up coming. A lot of things coming, so you guys do not want to miss it. I appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been showing to this channel, and continue to show love and support to my channel as we going into this new year. Um, and yeah, I am very excited for 2023 and what the direction of my channel is going to look like, and I hope you guys are excited as well. But yeah, that it was the end of this video. Comment down below, do you guys agree with my rant about the Rumble? Do you guys agree? Do you guys not agree? Well, and leave your opinions about the Rumble, specifically the Women's Rumble, because this is what I want to talk about with the Women's Rumble. That's why I didn't really mention the men or anything like that. And yeah, we'll have a discussion about all that in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.